Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chen here from NBC Sports Bay Area. Happy news in 49ers land. Christian McCaffrey and Olivia Culpo had their baby girl. Her name is Colette Annalise McCaffrey. So congratulations to the happy couple and the new family. And what perfect timing with it being the off season and Christian McCaffrey needing to report not until next week, July 23rd. So throughout this time, rookies will report on Tuesday, that is July 15th, and we will not have any access to them at all. Mostly it's conditioning. I know a lot of you have asked, hey, what actually happens during the rookies' first week there? Conditioning, getting up to speed, meal plans, whatever it needs to be, checking on them and making sure that they're healthy, if they have any injuries or anything any issues. Sometimes it's making sure that they have access to setting everything up, that they maybe didn't get done during rookie camp, which is making sure they have their health insurance, all of their legal things taken care of. One person that we are not sure whether we're going to see or not, though, is Alfred Collins. Only two of the entire league's second round picks have been signed. That makes, and one of them is not Alfred Collins. So of the two, Alfred Collins is not one of them. So Alfred Collins, along with 29 other second round picks, are holding out. The reason is that the Houston Texans kind of did everyone bad by signing their second round pick to fully guaranteed 4-year contract, which is not normally how second round picks are treated. First round picks, yes, guaranteed money. Second round picks, no, just doesn't happen that way. So their second round pick got fully guaranteed money. The Cleveland Browns they had the second round pick, followed in suit. And now the other 30 second round picks want that same treatment. So it's a standoff right now between the NFL teams and these second round picks. What agent is going to be the one who first says, okay, I'll take something less than fully guaranteed money? Do the teams all band together and say, okay, we're not going to give guaranteed money to any second round pick? I don't know if they could do that. I think that would be against the law, but I'm not sure. So it remains to be seen whether Alfred Collins will show up. Obviously, it would be a move of good faith if he shows up and just does conditioning, no work on the field. But I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. And it could stunt Alfred Collins' growth and, you know, um, adaptation to the NFL, life in the NFL, because he wasn't around for rookie minicamp. He wasn't around for OTAs and minicamp. He was there for rookie minicamp, but didn't do anything on the field. Calf injury that he suffered during his pro day. Still, Kyle Shanahan said he should be healthy by training camp, but will he even be around during training camp? That's the big question. Obviously, we didn't see him during minicamp. We have not seen him do anything with the team since being drafted. Nothing physical on the field at all whatsoever. Will he hold out? Will he come in and at least do conditioning, hold in? We don't know. Rookies are supposed to report again July 15th. Veterans report the 23rd. First open practice is the 24th. So we won't know anything about Alfred Collins unless we get an insider scoop. Then we'll know if he's there or not. But as of right now, no word on Alfred Collins and what's going to happen, or the 29 other 29 other second round picks that have not signed yet. It's unprecedented. I spoke to Matt Maiocco on 49ers Talk, and he said he's never seen this in his 30 years of covering the NFL. So that's kind of a story that we're going to have to watch as we go into training camp. And uh, otherwise, the rest of the rookie class looks like they are going to be fully involved. And one of the things that I took away from Matt Maiocco's interviews with guys at the golf tournament up in Tahoe is that the veterans are really excited to be going back to camp, and really excited to be leaders for these young players who, are throughout the roster, from offensive line to running back to wide receivers to across the board, defensive linemen, linebackers, cornerbacks. Every position has rookies, and every position, the veterans are going to have to step up as leaders to make sure that these guys acclimate. Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk told this to Matt Maiocco that these veterans feel an obligation. It's different. And I think this attitude from the veterans is new and excited because they had this longer season. I mean, I spoke to Fred Warner at his camp. He's like, it's been almost too long that we've been away from the field. George Kittle said, I can't wait to get back to camp. Um, everybody I've talked to, everybody that Matt Maiocco has talked to has said, we're excited to get back, which is completely different to the way they kind of trudged into training camp last year after the Super Bowl loss. So I have a feeling that this training camp is going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot of competition. There's a lot of unknown about who's going to play next to all of these all-pro players and these rookies, who's going to stand out. Now, one thing Kyle Juszczyk did say to Matt Maiocco is that he also noticed that Jordan Watkins really stood out. Wide receiver out of Ole Miss. George Kittle also brought up Jordan Watkins' name. So there's a lot of players. There's a lot of attention on Jordan Watkins. I've got to say, he stood out to me. And we only got to watch a few practices at minicamp, but because Jauan Jennings was out with a hamstring, Ricky Pearsall out with a hamstring, Brandon Ayuk out with ACL, MCL. Jordan Watkins got his reps and he took advantage. And that's what Kyle Shanahan looks for. He looks for guys, young guys who take advantage of all those reps that they can get during the offseason and how much it can help them grow. So Jordan Watkins is a guy who may end up being a guy who can get in there on a rotational basis because you've got Brandon Ayuk who could be back after 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I just don't think he starts week one. Um, Demarcus Robinson could be suspended for up to 3 games. So are they without Brandon Ayuk and Demarcus Robinson at the start of the season? Jauan Jennings will be there. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing. Could Jordan Watkins be another one of the guys that Kyle Shanahan puts on the field and makes sure he gets reps because of his experience during OTAs and minicamp? He could be a guy who takes that huge step forward much quicker than other rookies at his position. Ricky Pearsall also, he's got to get those reps in during training camp. He sat out during minicamp and OTAs with a hamstring injury, as did Jauan Jennings. Those guys need to stay healthy. They need to get their reps in. Jauan Jennings, again, could be set for a wide receiver one role, but he's got to also stay healthy. I also have more faith that Jauan Jennings will be ready to go after all of his years in Kyle Shanahan's system. But guys like Ricky Pearsall, Jacob Cowing, they've got to get those reps in. So we'll see what happens to the wide receiver position. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk is apparently, as Matt Maiocco has said, on schedule, maybe a little bit ahead of schedule. But the way the schedule lines up, if he goes on PUP for the beginning of the season, that means he loses at least, or he sits out at least 4 games. So that'd be week 1 through 4. Week 5 is a Thursday night game versus the Rams. I don't think they would throw him in there on a short week where they don't really practice. So I do think that maybe week 6. I do think he'll start out on the PUP list, as Malik Mustafa will as well. But that wide receiver position, that's one to watch because without Demarcus Robinson, Brandon Ayuk, it's going to be interesting to see who can take over at those positions. So, um, but my main focus on this video is to say that the veterans on this team are incredibly excited to get to work, and I think it sets the 49ers up for a successful season. When all the veterans are on the same page, to get the rookies on the same page, and there's enthusiasm and excitement, which I think there is, I don't think they can do anything but succeed. So as long as they stay healthy, I think the 49ers have a great shot of having a good 2025 season, a bounce back from their 6-11 season last year, because the mentality, they're mature on one end and young and enthusiastic on the other. So I think it's a good combination. And I do think the 49ers will have a chance to play deep into the postseason if everybody stays healthy. Yeah, they're going to count on these rookies. And, I think Jordan Watkins is a guy who has stood out. They really need Michael Williams to step up. They need Alfred Collins to show up. They need CJ West to perform. Nick Martin, got to compete with D Winters for that position next to Fred Warner. So Upton Stout, another guy who could be the nickel. So as much as it's familiar faces on the roster, there's also a lot of new faces that those familiar faces are need to get going to get those familiar faces are needing to get those young guys, the unfamiliar faces, on track for a great 2025 season. Let me know who your breakout player is for 2025. I'd like to know. Hope you guys are all well. Happy weekend. Good luck with the work week. And of course, I'll be talking to you soon again. Rookies report on the 15th. We don't have any media access until the 24th, which is the first practice open to media. Tickets go on sale for training camp on the 15th, which is Tuesday for season ticket holders, on the 16th for the general public. If you have any questions about that, I hope to see you all there. Talk to you soon.